Hello students, welcome to TSAT, welcome to the class. Welcome to the class on Indian polity and constitution. As a series of classes on Indian polity and constitution for TSPSC Group 1. Now, in this class, let us discuss about few important topics related to Indian polity and constitution. And that topics are, let us deal with the President of India, the Vice President, and also the Council of Ministers. The Vice President. If you look at the Vice President of India, Article 52 to Article 62 specially deals with the Vice President. Article 52 in fact say that there shall be a President for India. President of India is the nominal executive. Who is he? He is the nominal executive. President of India is the nominal executive. The Prime Minister and Council of Ministers are the real executives. So let us today deal with the President of India, who is at most important constitutional head or constitutional authority in this country. And after President of India, in this class, now let us also discuss about one more important constitutional position called Vice President. Article 63 of the Constitution says there shall be a Vice President for India. According to the Constitution of this country, the Vice President has two major functions, which is discussed in Article 64 and Article 65. According to Article 64 of the Indian Constitution, the Vice President is the ex officio chairman of Rajya Sabha. Who is the chairman of Rajya Sabha? The Vice President is the ex officio chairman of Rajya Sabha. And according to Article 65 of the Constitution, the Vice President shall act, see I am repeating this word, shall act for a temporary period of not more than 6 months as the President of India in case of the vacancy of the President. I am repeating this, friends. According to Article 65, the Vice President shall act not more than 6 months as the President of India when the President of India position is vacant. Now, President of India along with Council of Ministers are part of the political executive of the country. The political executive of the country. The Council of Ministers are the political executive of this country who are part of the legislature. Who are this Council of Ministers? The Union Council of Ministers include the Prime Minister and other ministers such as your Defence Minister, your External Affairs Minister, your HRD Ministry, your Finance Ministry, or etc. There are many ministries in Union Council of Ministers. But who is the head of all the ministers? The head of all the ministers is the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister, the first minister of all the ministers we have. The State Council of Ministers include the CM and Council of Ministers of the state. The CM, the Chief Minister. We have other ministers such as Irrigation Minister, Home Minister, Finance Minister, etc. These members of the legislature who hold each ministry is something referred to as portfolios. each ministry hold a portfolio. Portfolio is something which is specific in nature. So these three concepts which we are going to see in this class. These three concepts are very important because all these three are majorly part of Part 5 of the Indian Constitution. They are part of Part 5 of the Indian Constitution. Let's not waste more time. Let's get into the first question with regards to these three constitutional authorities. Look at the first question, friend. If you look at the question, see, our main intention to have these classes is to make you understand two things. One, how the questions are framed, in what way TSPSC will ask questions. Secondly, when you are reading the subject, how you need to think in prelims TSPSC Group 1 perspective. This is our intention, friends. So look at the first question now. Consider the following and choose the correct statement. See, whenever you feel any word which is important, you need to round it. Even when you are giving your exam on October 16th. Consider the following and choose the correct statement. Look at the first statement. Article 52 of the Constitution says there shall be a president for India. The president of India is the de facto head of the Indian state. Look at the two statements. The first statement is absolutely correct. Why? Article 52 of Part 5 of the Constitution, says, there shall be a president for this country. There shall be a president for this country. But look at the second statement. There are two types of legal terminologies. The first one is called de facto. The second one is called de jure. These two are different terms. De facto is nothing but real. De jure is nothing but nominal. In India, there is a real executive and also nominal executive. In India, the constitutional authority who is called the real executive is the Council of Ministers, including the Prime Minister. Then who is the de jure nominal executive or nominal head? The President of India. Meaning, this statement is wrong because President of India is a de jure head, not a de facto head. So, the answer for this is A, one only. These types of words are very important while reading the subject. Any general study subjects has different terminologies. I request every student to pen down all the terminologies you know. Now let's come back to the subject and let's see the second question. Look at the question carefully. Consider the following and choose the, see again the correct statement. Okay, which of the following is correct? Yeah. Look at the first statement. The term of the Prime Minister is 5 years. President of India can be re-elected any number of times. Okay, very easy question, a basic question when you read the subject thoroughly. Maybe second statement, you all know, the Indian president can be re-elected any number of times. Absolutely correct. If you look at the US president, the US president can be elected only once. See, once elected and re-elected another times. Meaning, he can be re-elected only once. Meaning, a person to become the president of USA can be the president only for 2 terms. The term of the US president is 4 years. The term of the Indian president is 5 years. And the president of India who is there for 5 years can be re-elected for any number of times. No problem. Now look at the first statement. The term of the Prime Minister is 5 years. See, it all depends upon he proving his majority in Lok Sabha. If Prime Minister failed to prove his majority in Lok Sabha, he cannot continue as the Prime Minister. Meaning, the President can remove the Prime Minister any time if he fails to prove his majority in Lok Sabha. Meaning, there is no fixed term for Prime Minister. This is a wrong statement. Why? There is no fixed term for PM. The President can remove the Prime Minister any time if he is not able to prove his majority in Lok Sabha, the lower house. So, Prime Minister as a member of Parliament may be as a term, but Prime Minister as a Prime Minister, no fixed term. Remember this for your exam. So, answer is B here, only 2. So, this is your next question. Now, let us go to the next question, friends. Simple question, direct question, but not easy because you need to remember important articles. See, one question students keep on asking me is, sir, how many articles we need to remember? How to remember? See, I will tell you one thing. You don't read the articles only to by heart or remembering it. You try to understand the concept of each and everything. And when you understand the concept, while understanding it, you get to know some articles. When you get to know that articles while understanding the concept, you store in your brain, permanent memory. That is how you need to remember things. Now look at this. Which article of the Indian Constitution deals with impeachment of President of India? What is the meaning of impeachment? Removal. The removal procedure. From where did we bring this impeachment process of President of India? US Constitution. We bought the removal procedure of the President of India from US Constitution. 53, 61, 55, 71. If you look at all the 4 options, all 4 options are somehow linked to President of India. But you need to choose which of the following is related to the impeachment of the President. Let us decode one by one. What is Article 53? Article 53 says, the President is the executive head of the government, meaning the entire business of the Parliament, the entire business of the government shall be taken under the name of the President of India. Every business of the government of India shall be taken under the name of the President of India. Is your option A, that is Article 53, which is a wrong answer. Because the question is all about impeachment. Now look at the second one. Article 61 of the Constitution deals with the procedure to remove the President of India, and that procedure is called impeachment process. So, I hope you got the answer. Article 61 talks about the impeachment procedure. Okay. Look at the next option also. Let us see Article 55 as well. Article 55 goes along with Article 54. Article 54 and Article 55 are in news and can be asked as your question, because both articles deal with the election of the President of India, the election process of the President of India. Article 54 talks about who participate in the elections of the President. Article 55 deals with how the President of India is elected. The procedure of election is discussed in Article 55. Who participate in the elections is discussed in Article 54. So, this is your Article 55. Now, what is Article 71? Very important, friends. According to Article 71, any election disputes with respect to President of India and the Vice President shall be taken directly in the Supreme Court. You need to remember this for your exam. According to Article 71 of the Constitution, the election dispute of the President and Vice President shall be taken directly to the Supreme Court of India, is what discussed in Article 71. So, this is your answer. The answer is B. Let's go to the next question. Yes. See, whenever you look at this question, these type of questions, which is very elaborative, don't get panic. These questions which are elaborative are actually very easy when you read it for thrice or 4 times or 5 times. So, I recommend you to read it for 4 or 5 times. Then it is very easy for you to guess the answer. Consider the following and choose the correct statement. Okay. The pardoning powers of the President of India is more than pardoning powers of the Governor. Meaning, we all know that pardoning means excusing the convicted person or making sure the convicted persons are not punished, relieving the convicted persons. But pardoning is given by both President and also Governor. Yes, we all know. But are the powers of the pardoning of President and Governor same, or is there any difference? Look at the screen. Very, very important. Both President and Governor has the authority to issue pardon. But President pardoning power is more than Governor, because in 2 circumstances, Governor has no authority in giving pardon. These are 1. Death sentence. Governor has no authority in pardoning a capital punishment, also called death sentence. 2. Any judgment given by martial courts. Martial court means military courts. If there is any judgment given by a military court, even Governor cannot pardon those punishments given to any person by military court. It is only President who has the authority. So, the first statement is absolutely correct. Look at the second statement. When President position is vacant, okay, automatically Vice President shall become the President for remaining period. Now, if you look at this statement, you need to decode Article 65. While starting the introduction of this lesson, I told you, according to Article 65, the Vice President shall act as the President of India for not more than 6 months when the President of India position is vacant. See, I use this term called not more than 6 months, meaning suddenly when the President of India position falls vacant due to death, due to resignation, due to impeachment or any other reasons. If the President of India position is vacant, the Vice President automatically act as the President of India, but not permanently, maximum for 6 months only. So this is a wrong statement. Answer is A. Let's go to the next question. Yes. Consider the following and choose the correct statement. Very important. See, this is directly, it is linked to Article 75 Clause 2, Article 75 Clause 3, Article 75 Clause 2 and Article 75 Clause 3. Look at the screen. The Council of Ministers are individually responsible to President of India. Okay. The Council of Ministers are collectively responsible to Parliament. According to Article 75 Clause 2 of the Constitution, all the Council of Ministers, including the President, are appointed and can be removed by the President of India. Point number 1. Point number 2. Every Council of Ministers shall communicate their work to the President of India via Prime Minister. So the reason all Council of Ministers are individually responsible to President. Absolutely correct statement. Look at the next statement, friends. The Council of Ministers are collectively responsible to Parliament. Oh my God. What is the reason why there is a Council of Ministers? Because they have a majority. Where they have the majority? In Lok Sabha. When they have majority in Lok Sabha, why would they collectively responsible to both the houses of Parliament? This is wrong. According to Article 75 Clause 3, the Council of Ministers are collectively responsible to Lok Sabha only. Lok Sabha only. So, answer is A. Next question, friends. Right. Very important question. Very important. Consider the following and choose the correct statement. The strength of the Council of Ministers cannot be more than 15% of the total strength of Lok Sabha. Now, this statement is correct, but 2 points regarding to this statement. Try to understand this. In the original Constitution, when Constitution came into force, in the original Constitution, there was no provision or there is no definition on the strength of the Council of Ministers. The 91st Constitutional Amendment Act of 2003 has introduced this provision called what should be the strength of the Council of Ministers. According to 91st Constitutional Amendment Act of 2003, the maximum strength of the Council of Ministers cannot be more than 15% of the total strength of Lok Sabha. See, maximum. It can be lesser. It cannot be more than that. So, this is correct. Next one. The nominated members of the Parliament do not participate in the elections of President and Vice President. This is wrong statement. Why? If you look at the Vice President elections or Electoral College, the nominated members of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha participate in the Vice President elections. Because not only nominated members, even the elected members of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha participate, meaning all the members of Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha participate in the Vice President elections. Meaning, nominated members also participate in the vice president elections. Sir, do they participate in president elections? No. The nominated members of Lok Sabha, the nominated members of Rajya Sabha, because they are nominated by president only, they do not participate in the President of India election. So this is wrong. So answer is A. Look at the next question. Right. Consider the following and choose the correct statement. The oath of the Vice President is administered by President of India. The oath of the President of India is administered by CJA. Look at the screen. The oath of the Vice President is administered by President of India or any other person appointed by President. I am repeating this. The oath of the Vice President is administered by the President of India or any other person appointed by the President. So this is correct. Look at the second statement. The oath of the President is administered by CJI. This is also correct statement, but let me elaborate this for you. The oath of the President of India is administered by Chief Justice of India or the next senior most judge in his absence. If Chief Justice of India is absent, the next senior most judge will administer the oath of the President of India. So answer is C. Very good. Next question. Right. Consider the following and choose the correct statement with respect. See, this is with respect to ordinance. What is the meaning of ordinance? Ordinance is a temporary law. According to Article 123, the President of India has authority to promulgate the ordinance. According to Article 213, the Governor has the authority to promulgate the ordinance. Now let us see the statements. President can take back the ordinance any time before it is passed by both the houses. Correct? Before Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha passes the ordinance, the President of India can take back the ordinance anytime. No problem. This is correct statement. Look at this. President cannot promulgate an ordinance for amending the Constitution. See, cannot. Absolutely correct statement. President of India cannot give an ordinance for amendment of the Constitution. An amendment of the Constitution is done only following a procedure discussed in Article 368 of the Constitution. So answer is C. Both the statements are correct. Let us see the next one. Yes. Which articles are linked to Council of Ministers? Which articles are linked to Council of Ministers? Article 74, 75. See, these two articles you all know. See, whenever we discuss about Council of Ministers in classes or whenever you read any book, Article 74, 75 is something which is related to Council of Ministers. So both are there. So option 1, 2 is also there. So this is wrong answer. This is also wrong answer because 2 is also there. If 3 is linked to Council of Ministers, yes or no? Absolutely yes. Why? Because according to Article 78, all functions of Council of Ministers shall be communicated to the President of India via PM. So the entire functioning of the Council of Ministers shall be communicated to the President via PM. So this is C is the correct statement. Now let us see the last question in this series of Indian Polity Group 1 TSPSC program. Look at the question carefully. Consider the following and choose the correct statement. The election of the President and Vice President is conducted before the completion of the term. This is in current affairs. I want everyone to understand the elections of the President of India, the elections of the Vice President the elections of the local bodies are actually conducted before the completion of that term. The Council of Ministers are appointed, removed and reshuffled any time by President by his will. This is wrong. Why? Because the President of India appoint, remove or reshuffle any Council of Ministers following the advice of the Prime Minister. While appointing a Council of Minister, while removing a Council of Minister, while reshuffling the portfolios of Council of Ministers, the President has to follow the advice of the Prime Minister, not by his discretion. So, this is your President of India, Vice President and Council of Ministers for you with respect to Group 1 TSPSC exam. I will follow this series and I will see you guys in the next class with another topic on Indian polity and constitution. Till then, thank you very much. Happy learning. Jai Hind.